All right, brother. So let's start this off with our giving back segment this week.
All right.
I'm going to start with an organization that I know you're fond of, and I'm certainly fond of. It's called the Santa Rosa Kids House. Now, that is a place in Santa Rosa County, Florida, and they're really an interesting organization. They're advocates for children that are going through uh, difficult times, some uh, potentially abusive situations, things of that nature. But what they do is they bring all of the interested parties and services into the same location. So you have representatives uh, from the healthcare industry who can examine the children for physical health when they come in. You have mental health care professionals. You have representatives from the law enforcement community, and you have representatives from the state's attorney's office. And then you've got community advocates that are there as well, things like the Guardian Ad Litem program. So, anyway, instead of a child who's in a difficult situation being trucked from this place to this place to this place to this place they're being uh, while their case is being looked at. It's bringing everything to the child, and that is meant to really reduce the stress and the impact of the event on the child so that it's not more difficult for them than it already is, considering the circumstances that they're in. And, personally, you and I visited Psyche and we saw what they're all about. And I know this is an organization that we both contribute to. Um, it's something that we believe in, but it's a fantastic resource for this community. And when you think about philanthropy, a lot of times we like to think about bright and shiny and happy and smiley and the silver lining under the clouds and that sort of thing. But there are dark parts of the world as well, and the folks that do this really have a heart for children. And it's a nonprofit organization, so obviously they're doing this for the right reasons. I've got a couple of statistics to share, and then I'd like to get your thoughts because I'm sure you have something to say about them. Um, so, just in the year 2020, which is the most recent year that we have information, um, the child protection team did over 220 medical exams and 295 forensic interviews. Law enforcement ended up charging 207 sexual offenses against juveniles, 98 child abuse offenses, and 47 internet crime offenses. Law enforcement brought charges. That's in one part of our community. Um, the state's attorney's office uh, had 26 cases that they brought against uh, people who committed crimes against children that they were able to close. And the Department of Children and Families um, actually saw over 1,000 children receive services at the Santa Rosa Kids House, and over 827 free therapy sessions were given to affected children. So just think about that. I mean, the numbers they're not staggering for the United States, but they sure are staggering for our little community. Um, One of the things about COVID that had some significant impacts that a lot of people don't think about or maybe didn't hear about was how domestic violence increased while people were locked down. And, a lot of the victims of that were children. So the services provided by this organization really were not only very needed, but even more so during during the COVID-19 situation and the outbreak. So let me kick this over to you, Psyche, and get your thoughts on what they do over there.
Well, I have mixed emotions about it, and I'll clarify that. Obviously, I'm very thankful for the organization and to be able to have somebody like that in our community. They do a tremendous job. People that work there are phenomenal. They're dedicated. They really care, and we're lucky to have them. On the flip side, to hear you say those numbers you're saying is just, I mean, sad for lack of a better word, right? I wish we lived in a community or a country where we didn't have to deal with that, where the kids didn't have to deal with that. So that's where my mixed emotions come from. But obviously, very grateful to have the Santa Rosa Kids House around. As you stated, we both give back to them. I give my time, my services, and financial resources to them on an annual basis. And they're definitely an asset to our community. I'm glad you picked or highlighted this type of nonprofit organization because most communities have one. And it's kind of surprising how many people really don't know they exist. They
Yeah,
provide an invaluable service.
they do. And I understand the mixed emotions, right? Because this isn't the kind of thing that you like to talk about, especially when you're talking about giving back. You want it to be upbeat. But the fact of the matter is, hey, this is a need, and our community needs this. Every community needs this because unfortunately, there are bad people out there. And one of the ways that we can give back is to meet the most vulnerable and to help take care of them when they're going through hard times. And the folks over there at the Santa Rosa Kids House, like you said, they do a fantastic job of it. Um, you couldn't pay somebody enough to do what they do.
Nope.
And there are a lot of people over there that are just volunteering. You know, they do
Yeah.
it because of the compassion that they feel for those kiddos. So kudos to them. Fantastic work. And we love you guys and hope to see continued success for your organization going forward.
And thank you for your service and all that you guys do.
Amen.
The Purposeful Podcast.